Two tilt buttons, and I'm going to roll it to say 28 seconds. Now when I click, watch that number, 37, 38, 39 degrees, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45. Now I'm getting up to speed. It's doing a perfect, slow, uniform tilt move for me, right? And then when I get up here to the top, about 25 seconds later, now we're going to go 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81. Now it's stopped. You cannot even see in the footage when it really starts and stops. That is what makes you look like a professional cinematographer. That's what allows one person to set a shot really quick, hit a button, let the copter drift back as you get a perfect tilt move. You don't need the camera operator. But it gets so much better when you start leveraging the power of a full Linux computer in the copter and a full Linux computer in the controller. There's no hobby grade anything, no video transmission modules. This is two full Linux computers connected via a long-range high-power Wi-Fi connection. Now what you can do is you can actually set up full motion control in real time while you're flying. I take off, I fly to any position in space, altitude, X, Y, and Z axis GPS, any location. Then I can pan and tilt right to where I want to start my shot. I hit one button called cable cam, which you have your assignable AB buttons. You can have it set for selfie, orbit, cable cam, follow me, start recording, right? There's all kinds of different things you can set your buttons for depending on what you're going to do on that flight. So I have cable cam. I fly over, set my start point, hit cable. It goes great. Now fly to your next point. I move my copter in space, however you want to get there, rotate, tilt up, frame my shot exactly how I want the shot to end, hit the button one more time. It says cable cam set. I've now set 2 points in space, and it makes a line between those 2 points. The copter will not leave those 2 points. Now, I can either just fly back and forth on that cable. Say you're shooting surfing, or you're shooting the half pipe at the Winter X Games. I can just fly up and down the cable, and as I'm flying up and down the cable, now your left stick becomes pan and tilt. Because you don't need to do altitude, you don't need to worry about copter pan. It doesn't change, it just stays up and down the cable. So that's great for shooting live action. You're now the cameraman. Or just hit play and let the copter move at a perfect rate while you control the camera. Or if it's not live action and you want a really scripted, beautiful shot, you just turn on the setting to memorize the view lock, which means not only does the copter move along the cable, but it actually pans and tilts for you, all 5 axis, perfectly in combination, easing to a stop. But you don't want to forget recording, right? So you have the setting turned on in your app so that when I hit play, it starts recording on the GoPro, executes the shot, and then stops recording on the GoPro. Boom. Video file ready for the next shot. I want to orbit around a lighthouse and get a beautiful orbit shot. I just point at it in my app and I press orbit. And then I press play and I get a beautiful, perfect orbiting shot. You can adjust your radius, your speed, your altitude. I can change in real time if I want to have it focusing on the top of the lighthouse or the bottom of the lighthouse. As I change my altitude, the gimbal automatically changes. I'm in some beautiful location and I want to get a pull-out reveal. I set the copter on the ground. I hit my app here and I have my shot list. I hit selfie. A little third view satellite window pops out so I can see where my selfie line is going to be. I can change and go to full screen satellite. Now, of course, I don't have satellite in here, so it thinks I'm in the middle of the ocean. I can adjust, if I want to, the altitude of the selfie, the speed, the distance it goes away. And then all I do, I've got my little picture-in-picture view here. You can always go to your satellite screen, and as the copter rotates, you can see the arrow rotating, right? So then I just hit back here. I can go back to my full screen. Now it says hold fly to take off and begin selfie. All I did was say shots, selfie, hold fly. It auto takes off, does a big boom out, pull away reveal, auto tilting the gimbal to keep you in frame. You want that reveal to be like a straight up reveal? No problem. You want it to go pretty much straight out? It's all just a couple sliders. hit start, takes off, rolling on the GoPro, boom out, reverse the shot right back in on you, auto land, turn off the props, next shot. So it's about getting footage, going home at the end of the day with footage. Now before you get around to taking that memory card out of the GoPro and doing the whole post-production workflow and rectifying the image and stuff like that, I can have it set so that when I'm recording on the GoPro, I'm also recording the live HD stream straight to my camera roll of my device. Now you can do whatever you want with it. Take a little 15-second clip, post it out to Instagram while you're still in the air saying, cool video coming soon, guys. So just think of anything you would ever want to do with an aerial rig. This can do it, I promise.
Wow.
So the cool thing about it is it's all about future expandability. You have these onboard computers, so every 60 to 90 days, we have rolling updates coming out for the app. There's no USB cables and drivers and firmware and applications for your computer. It is new cool update available. Would you like to update your system? Yes. Now my mobile app updates the computer on the controller, the computer on the copter, the autopilot on the copter, and the gimbal firmware. All through one tap on a mobile app, right? So always getting better. We've got an accessory bay on the bottom. This one has an optical flow sensor, why it's sitting perfectly still there. So you want to fly indoors, you want optical flow and LiDAR, no problem, accessory. You're going to fly over crowds and you want a ballistic parachute system, so it can be safe for flying over crowds, no problem, accessory. You want a super bright LED light to hover over set and cast down moonlight, no problem, accessory. Right? You want a dropper to go deliver something for fun, no problem, accessory. Right? Same thing with the gimbal bay. It's open. So we have a great GoPro gimbal coming out, but there'll be all kinds of different gimbals and imaging sensors that are plug and play. Right? Motor pods, same thing. 4 screws, whole ESC and motor pulls out, unplug it, grab a new one, plug it in, take that sandy motor that just got sand in it at the beach, drop in a brand new one, you're back up in the air. No soldering, no taking the whole thing apart. So it is all about just being out in the field, capturing shots. The backpack, you're in and out in 60 seconds. This is what it looks like to put it in the backpack. Take off your props, take your tablet off, rotate this, drop this in, put the copter right over it, just like that, and the backpack is this big. You can see it right over there. Backpack will hold up to 7 extra batteries if you need them, or several batteries and some other stuff. It's got a tablet pocket, it's got a pouch to put extra GoPros and memory cards. Throw your backpack on, next location, 60 seconds in and out of the backpack, ready to fly.
Hey, dude.
So 20 minutes of flight time, with 3-axis gimbal, GoPro, live HD video link. You got your battery status here. We're giving you smart alerts on the app. We're judging the distance between the copter and yourself. We're vibrating the controller. We're warning you along the way. But wait a second, what happens if it flies away? What happens if the firmware freezes in the air and you lose control of your copter and it flies away? Now, of course, we can reduce that likelihood by putting an onboard computer on there and pulling all of that logic off of the autopilot. We can reduce by an order of magnitude that happening.
Try Drones Plus.
But any drone company on the planet that tells you that their drone cannot fly away is lying to you. Because whether it's that phone, or that camera, or this iPad, or MacBook computer, or GoPro camera, any piece of hardware running any piece of software can freeze, right? So we do everything we can to reduce that likelihood down to very, very tiny, minuscule amount. But here's what we're doing. When I turn this copter on, 10 times a second, we are logging over 500 parameters live during the flight, not just in the copter, but in your hand. You now have the black box of every flight in your hand.
This is for sure, DJ.
Which means our computers are also monitoring the flight in real time. If we sense that there was a problem with a high G load and then another high G load, or it was flying perfectly and we immediately lose connection and it never comes back, there's all these ways we can know that there was a problem. Our app pops up, says, looks like you might have had a problem. Would you like to log a trouble ticket? Yes. The phone takes the log off the computer, automatically puts it up to our trouble desk online. You're contacted directly by our trouble support agent. They walk through the entire flight with you, where you were standing, what direction you were facing, where the copter was, what moves you did, what alerts showed up on screen, how you responded to the alerts. If our copter caused the problem and it had a firmware freeze or the compass got confused and you told it to go straight but it went to the right and hit a tree, you're getting either repair or replace the copter, the gimbal, and credit to buy a new GoPro.
Wow.
Because that's how we want to take care of our customers. So we have a major customer support department ready to go, ready to support you guys. So get ready to start getting some badass footage. Who's ready?
Woo!
Come on, there's a solo for you. So thank you guys, check it out, ask questions. Thank you for listening.
Wow.
All right.